So out of the box of sets that have come in from the trade, we've got a much more straightforward set, a York 863. So the last one was that Grandstand Gemini, which is a bit of a special set, and it's come with a York factory original coffin mic. So we will power it up. I do have, I think Maxon and Cybernet are the only two power plugs we have kicking around. So where's it gone? There it is. I'm doing this on Saturday. It's December. I've got a carol service to do this afternoon, so I must keep an eye on the time. Right, let's get that powered up and we'll see what it does. There's probably some notes to go along with this, but I haven't read them. So I'll go straight for 13.8 volts. And it's switched on. So just check we're somewhere where we want to be. Normal. Yeah, it's exactly where we want to be. Somebody said about digits on one of the Cybernet sets we did being dimmer on the right than the left. Well, did I say dimmer? I said LED display. I meant LED display. That's Sapphire X4000. So if we've turned the dimmer down on this, you'll find that the right-hand digit is duller than the left-hand digit, and the dimmer was on that radio. So that might just tell you why that was. I think this is going to be in for a straightforward service. So first of all, I'll switch picture in picture on. It's been suggested we once again do a video where we get on the air tests, Mr. Chippy's side of it. We do these at 7:30 in the evening, always the same time, and of course with it being winter, yeah, I'm happy to do it. All you're going to see is headlights because it's dark, but it might be good for a laugh. I'll see what Mr. Chippy says. Right, so here we go. We're going to transmit. It's doing more than 3 watts. He's doing 3 watts. So it's York 863. For those of you who don't know, it's a Cybernet 134 chassis from 1981. The TX is 3 watts. Deviation. Wallow is 1.8. It's like it's never been optimized, even though it's this old. So receive, we'll just get the signal generator on frequency. I've only turned on about, we will check frequency, I'll just show you that. We'll take this with a pinch of salt because the test set's only been on 5 minutes, and the trouble there is it's only 14 degrees in this room instead of, we like to have it a bit warmer than that. Yeah, that's starting to be off frequency. 2779080. So it might be 10 out, but yeah, that does need to come up. So I'll set the signal generator to match that, otherwise it's an unfair test. So 2779080. I'm sure you'll realise if we did the receiver test on frequency, then it would be an unfair test because the radio is off frequency. So that now matches the transmit. We'll plug the test equipment instrument speakers in. And while I've got the back uppermost to me, I'll plug in our extension speaker for PA test later. Right, we'll switch over to the cyanide meter. Wow, this works well. So if I just show you the attenuator position, so we've got 1 and it's the top scale, so it's just under 3. So we could say it's 0.295. So it's 0.295 microvolts for 12 dB cyanide. I'm sure we won't improve on that. So receives spot on and transmits quite a bit out. It's hearing down to 0.15 of a microvolt. Right, so we'll get the lids off. I don't think there's going to be any nasty surprises in here because it's working so well. Pop the speaker off. And we'll test the PA, so let's just do that. So switch to PA, and it'll be the mic gain that controls the volume. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Absolutely perfect. Can unplug that. That was a letdown on that Gemini, that you couldn't control the volume. It's always full whack, so you'd have to use a microphone with a gain control, which isn't good. Right, so we'll check the VCO. So we'll go to channel 40. So we'll use Mr. Chippy's fly lead because I haven't got one. Test point, resistor 4, far end, should be 4 volts. So we'll just pop that down a fraction. Make sure you can see that. So it's the VCO coil is there. It's going to be clockwise, is it right? That'll do me. So now we're going to transmit. It should also be 4 volts. It's 3, so now it's the trimmer capacitor there. If you don't do this, you can end up with, I think that's near enough. You can end up with channels dropping out at the top and the bottom. So now we go to channel 1. It should be somewhere between 1.8 and 2.3, something like that. That's receive, that's transmit. It's absolutely great. we'll just pop it on frequency for now, and then I'll look at it later on. So that's absolutely spot on, and I'll monitor that in a bit. So, transmit lineup, go over to, we will go over to there, that's it. So we need to make sure we're on channel 20, we are. Peak on that coil. That wasn't quite peak. That wasn't quite peak. And that I can't even get to. There we go. So let's see if we can get a bit more out of it with the PA tuning. And for that I'll need the white trimming tool, which is on Mr. Chippy's bench. Right, so once again we set these three for maximum at this stage. So making sure you're on channel 20, because this is what balances the PA of the transmitter. The maximum, so that's 3.8 watts. 3.8 watts. I'm going to go through those again. It's best if you can get 4.4 at this stage out of it, but not all sets are going to do that. They're supposed to do 3.8 watts, these sets, but of course you are allowed 4. Not as it makes much difference, but it might get you that extra 50 yards. Right, so he's doing 4.2, something like that. So I still need to get the notes out for this, because I can never remember which is clockwise and which is anti-clockwise, because I have a memory like a sieve, and always have had. That's page 1. Where's page 2? So it's L4 for clockwise to obtain 4.4 watts, which we can't get. So what I've done is I've adjusted that to it just starts to move down. And now I'm going to turn this one until it also comes down. And hopefully we'll be balanced out of that. Never ever leave them at full. Legality aside, if the radio, if the radio do 5 watts, it's going to be like thrashing it. So we've got 3.9 something on channel 40, and 4 on channel 1. So it's certainly within the 0.1 that it's supposed to be. So it is doing a full 4 watts. So that's another thing done. So while we're at it, we may as well do the power meter. There we are, that now says 4 and not swinging across, banging across. And then we'll check low power, which should be 400 milliwatts. So switch scales. So now we're looking at there. It's only doing 10 milliwatts. These presets often get dirty, sometimes even fail. So just do that. So that's now doing 400 milliwatts on low power. So full power, wax across, and 400 milliwatts. There you have it. Go back to the 30 watt scale. So that's that done. Deviation. So it was a bit low, and I like this one to be in the centre, and then we'll use this one to set it how we want it. So let's see where it now is. Wow, a bit low, yeah. So we'll use the oscillator. Have I got the mic gain down on this? Yep. That's probably too loud now. Wow, it is. Too loud, man. Wow, it's just marginally too much. Wow, that's it. So that's that. So that's transmit. So we'll just see if it's still on frequency. Yep. I'll retune the signal generator for the correct frequency. First of all, we'll do the detector. So we'll go over to the oscilloscope. So it's just a very ordinary oscilloscope, just across the speaker terminals. All we're looking for is maximum recovered audio. What am I doing? I'm adjusting the S meter. Have I not woken up yet? It's that one I'm looking for. So it didn't need adjusting, but I have checked it. Right, so with S9 on the signal generator, I may as well set this S meter while I've got it in my mind. Just turn the volume down a bit. So now we'll fiddle with that preset which we just messed up. So that's now spot on the 9. Not easy to read meters on these. Right, so we'll just see if we can get an improvement on the receive. I doubt it. So we need to get the synod meter so we're about 4 dB, so we're not saturating the receiver. We'll start here. Just need a bit more volume, I think. You get the extra receive circuit on this model. Let's put a bit more signal on for this one. Actually gained something there. Gain something there as well. Just go back to where we started and just check the first two again. There we go. Let's read off what we've now got. So let's get our 12 dB. I'll go on the same scale we used first time. I was on the 1 microvolt scale. Right, so go to the attenuator. Well, it's now 0.295. No, 291. Yeah, 291. It was 295. It's now 0.291. So, you know, so that's now 4 watts. That's now 2.2 average to an absolute maximum of 2.5. That is now on frequency 2779125. Right, well, that leaves the squelch. So we'll turn the squelch to full on the radio, and I want the squelch to come in when we put a 100 microvolt signal on the signal generator, which is the same as S9. So that's 3 microvolts, 10 microvolts, 30 microvolts, 100 microvolts. It's spot on. So it doesn't need adjusting. If it did need adjusting, it's the preset there, the squelch preset. So now we're going to do the opposite check. Turn the squelch step down to minimum and set threshold on the radio. So background noise has just disappeared. Very finely set. Switch the signal generator back on. It's been parked at 0.3 of a microvolt. Let's come straight in. This is nice, actually. Every sample is going to be different. It's coming in at 0.31 of a microvolt. It's leaving it 0.26 of a microvolt. So that's nice. We're done. That's all there was to it. That was a nice, straightforward tune-up. The speaker was actually connected the wrong way round. It really doesn't matter. The positive is the yellow wire and goes to the right. Just means the cone works the opposite way if you get the polarity wrong. It's not like it's stereo where it might make a difference. So we'll pop the screws back in there. That's the quickest one I've done. You never know, we may be able to get another one in this weekend. So it's Saturday today. I've got a carol service at 3 o'clock at Ancaster this afternoon. Tomorrow I've got a normal church service, I think it's at Rawsby, and then 4 o'clock at Kelby, and then 5:30 at Haydor. So I'll be knackered after that lot. And it is heavy going on pipe organs. You're fighting air pressure. They're not power assisted. Like every time I seem to see organs in America, they're huge things which are all electrically operated. But it's not so. I'm playing at village churches and pipe organs are mechanical action. So you're directly connected to the air pallets by the keyboard, and so it's heavy going. But it's very, very reliable. And that's what it's about. Right, well that's fab and brill. I'll switch some of the test gear off and we'll put it on the aerial and we'll see whether there's any good buddies, bad buddies or indifferent buddies out there. If we hear them on Nottingham, they're usually operating on something naughty. Go to the normal speaker inside. So, making sure we've got these in the right position. One and a Roger. There's a bit of traffic out there. '19 a Roger. Now, I've always said time and time again I've said the power meters are relative. So you just saw me set that to 4 watts. You've seen it on the test set doing 4 watts. When we key up on the aerial, it's reading what? 2.5? But it doesn't mean the radio is suddenly only giving 2.5 watts out. It's still giving 4 out because the meter is relative to SWR. So take it with a pinch of salt. No two samples are the same. And that's probably why current model CB radios, the power meters are pre-programmed to just read so many bars, whether the radio is actually transmitting or not. It's meaningless. A glorified TX light. So there you have it, the York 863 in 1981 set with its original mic, now working splendidly. Thanks for watching.